What's going on, everybody? It's Dan, and I am back with some more VBA battles. So last week we had a pretty convincing win over a Sand team when I was going up against Leaf, but this week we are going up against Bubble Hulk, who was the second to last remaining undefeated team last season, a playoff competitor, and he's got a pretty solid team. So we are going up against them. They've got another Sand mode, and without bringing their Mr. Rhyme, this team doesn't have a special attacker, so Lipard seems really good. This game, I know I'm bringing Lipard, Nidoking, Crobat, and Marowak in some configuration, leading one of Lipard and Crobat. I'm not sure exactly which one at this point. And then putting Marowak in the back and leading Nidoking as well. At least that's my assumption going into the game. I'm still not 100% sure on if I want Lipard or Crobat to lead, but the Tailwind does look important, so I decide to change it to a Crobat Nidoking lead and just go with Lipard and Marowak in the back. So heading into the game, I've got a pretty standard plan for this kind of match. And that's get to late game, use Lipard's Disruption to make the battlefield favorable late, but early game get up Tailwind to allow me to compete with them under weather. So the Stoutland lead next to Gigalith is very interesting. Sandstream is an obvious ability here, and then Stoutland doesn't have Intimidate, so I assume that it is Sandrush. So I don't want this Nidoking to go down this turn to something stupid like After You and an Earth move, or Ground move. So just Protect seems easy, make sure my Tailwind allows Nidoking to outspeed the Stoutland the next turn. And it is in fact After You, so that was an interesting call, but he goes for Rock Slide instead, which I'm Charty Berry, so this isn't going to do that much here, but I will be paying close attention to the damage numbers. And looking at that damage, it shouldn't pick up a KO even after some Sand Chip next turn, so I should have 2 more turns of attacking with Crobat unless he doubles into it, which he really shouldn't. So here, Earth Power Gigalith seems correct. And then I want to set Sunny Day. I'm also considering taunting the Stoutland in case it goes for an After You again, but that doesn't really matter because I will be just outspeeding anyway. So Sunny Day in case he leaves the Gigalith in. This has the potential to pick up the KO depending on the Gigalith spread and item. AV Gigalith makes a lot of sense this match, but always better to play that cautiously. Of course, if the Gigalith survives and switches out, the Sunny Day is going to be annoying, but it will allow me to at least fight on even footing with Excadrill at some point. So the Stoutland switches out. This is a good step 1. Hitmonchan comes in. And then I set Sunny Day. So Hitmonchan is really interesting in this set. You think Inner Focus all the time, especially because I've showed my love of Fake Out last week. But don't pick up the KO there. It doesn't quite look like AV. But in running some calcs this week, Iron Fist Hitmonchan picked up a couple important-looking KOs. So I think there's a chance that it's Iron Fist as well. So a Fake Out into Hitmonchan doesn't sound completely out of the question to me because Sash Iron Fist was something that I was looking at for him this week, and Fake Out would work if he's Iron Fist and also break Sash no matter what set he is. So I am very strongly considering faking out this Hitmonchan here, even though it's probably a throw. And then I'm thinking about this Gigalith, what is it most likely to switch into this turn? And my first thought is, if he's going to switch in to an Earth Power, he's going to try and switch in Braviary, so I'm going to Thunderbolt that slot, because that'll still pick up the Gigalith from there. and then I'm just going to fake out the Hitmonchan in case it is that Iron Fist set, and it will provide me with some good information too about damage calculations that I need to be aware of. But he does end up switching out the Gigalith, but he sends in Stoutland, so an Earth Power would have been fine there. Fake out will reveal that this Hitmonchan, let's actually get the Thunderbolt damage out. It looks like Earth Power might be in range, but at close combats, so it is not Iron Fist, it is Inner Focus. When I go down to Sash, so Sand damage will kill me on Gigalith switching in, so I need to play very carefully with this Liepard because I will get off one more attack with it. Earth Power into Hitmonchan seems fine, and then I don't think Foul Play picks up a Stoutland at this range. It's really close if he doesn't have defense investment and he does have adamant attack investment, but I just don't quite see it. I also don't know the moveset on the Stoutland, but I assume After You has Protect on the set. And then Snarl makes a little bit of sense, and then I assume a Stab normal type move. So Hitmonchan comes out, Gigalith comes in, and I will pick up the KO in that spot, but Sand does go up, which is going to be unfortunate for me. Gigalith goes down. But the Sand being up is really going to give him a decent looking advantage in the late game if he's got the Excadrill. Because I know he's got the Hitmonchan and the Stoutlands already in the Sand. And my Tailwind is gone. So now he's going to have the speed advantage against two mons that get one shot by Excadrill, if that Excadrill comes out. And it does. So this is a very, very tricky looking end game for me because I've got one turn of Liepard and then these two, Nidoking, which is at minus, and then Marowak, which does get one shot by the Excadrill. And I don't have Protect on Marowak this week. So here's my thought. He identifies the Nidoking as a potential bigger threat. And if Nidoking goes down and Excadrill and Marowak stays up, I've got a shot because Marowak should one-shot this Excadrill. So that's the read I'm going to make here, is that because at -2, Nidoking should not KO Excadrill. But that's my out this game, because he has outplayed me to this point, but his high horsepower does go into Nidoking, because Protect on Marowak makes a lot of sense there. Like, that's not a bad play on his end, because you can just assume Protect on Marowak there a lot of the time, but I did not. And I get off a Flare Blitz into Excadrill. So now I'm in a position where I've got Hitmonchan and Stoutland versus Marowak and one turn of Liepard. The question for me is, how do I win this? I'm looking at the Stoutland, and the moves that I know of, I assume it also has Protect and a normal type Stab, which means Snarl is the only move that it has to hit Marowak, and that's not going to kill it for a while. So this Hitmonchan probably has Dark Coverage or something else to hit Marowak, so that's going to be priority one. I'm going to Thunder Wave it with my one move, because it didn't show Fake Out earlier. I'm going to assume it doesn't have Fake Out. Flare Blitz, no recoil with Rock Head, and I end up deciding that the play for me is to, I almost Charm it, which is a mistake. But I Thunder Wave it. And then the play for me is to Flare Blitz the Hitmonchan. Because if I can take out this Hitmonchan before it attacks, then I think I win a 1v1 late game against Stoutland. And then here's a Snarl. So this confirms it, because if he had something to hit Marowak, he'd hit Marowak there, not Liepard, because Liepard dies to Sand. And now this Marowak is fast enough that I will outspeed this Hitmonchan, and see if Flare Blitz picks up the KO. And it does. So I think I win unless he has something to hit this Marowak that he hasn't showed yet, because even with a couple turns of Sand damage, Snarl is not going to be enough. Very, very interesting game one. He will protect to try to get some sand damage down. And then I'm not sure what the normal stab move is on it, but I assume that's the fourth move, so I've got the whole Stoutland set. Because again, if he had something to hit the Marowak, he would probably hit it there. So we're going to Snarl to see if it does enough to kill the Marowak. It does not. And then I will be picking up this first game with a Flare Blitz, because that will always kill the Stoutland at this range without being intimidated. So yeah, this game one was very interesting. I felt disadvantaged in the end game, but he assumed Protect Marowak, which isn't a bad assumption, it just wasn't correct in this point. But that sets me up where game two, I've got some flexibility for modes to go with, and I will be right back and show you guys that game. So, going into game two, I decided to go with my Trick Room mode, which is an Aromatisse Berserker lead or Aromatisse Liepard are the two most common leads for that mode, but based on what he brought, Aromatisse Berserker and Nidoking Marowak, if I get up Trick Room, I should win. Because this Berserker with Iron Ball underspeeds Gigalith and should just eat most of his team. Very bad if Trick Room is not up. But the last slot, I debate a bit between Nidoking and Liepard, but Nidoking seems really good as a backup option to hit things that will be faster than everything but Excadrill and Stoutland on this team. So I'm going to see if he brings something to hard beat my fast mode, and then just try to swing around and beat him slow. He seems to be thinking a long time on what to lock in. Not that a minute is unnecessarily long in the team preview, but also going into this game, the team select thing, if I was remembered correctly, just seemed to take a minute or two. So I know he's really deep in the tank on what to do, and I'm hoping that he found a good way to stop the fast mode, but that loses to the slow mode. The Hitmonchan lead makes me nervous, because although it has not shown Fake Out or a willingness to use it, Fake Out here could be an issue. So my two potential plays are Double Protect or Fake Out into Gigalith and just go for Trick Room. Honestly, Fake Out into Gigalith and go for Trick Room is probably the play here, but I am in a very comfortable match position, so I decide I can make the more defensive play and see if he slips up. But he puts out Excadrill. This is not going to be the worst position in the world for me based on the sets that I have, but it will mean that I have to choose a Pokemon to potentially go down in the Berserker slot. I'm okay with choosing a Pokemon to go down in the Berserker slot because it's not hugely important. I'm actually okay with leaving Berserker in here because it can survive a couple different attacks. I also think about switching into Nidoking there because if close combat is the play, or Marowak if close combat is the play, that feels good. And I don't think he's going to high horsepower Berserker. I think he's going to Iron Head the Aromatisse with, and I've got Babiri Berry, so I live that. And close combat into that slot does seem like the play that's going to happen, so I do put in the Marowak. So Iron Head comes off, I eat my Babiri, I always survive this. There's no way he attacks into me with Hitmonchan into this slot, and even if he does, he probably doesn't kill me depending on the attack. And Coaching comes out. So I think I'm in excellent position at this point. Like, I put up Trick Room, and then I just win from here, but I flinch. And suddenly, I am in a very, very, very bad position. Without Trick Room up, this doesn't make sense what's on the field right now. Like, I can Flare Blitz the Excadrill and kill it even if he goes up to +2, but he just kills me back, and I'm thinking maybe I survive something from Hitmonchan, and he has to Hitmonchan into the Aromatisse and I can get a Flare Blitz off, but no, he's got Rock Slide on it, and I'm going to lose this game. There's no way around it. If he went for a single target move on the Excadrill, maybe I had a shot, but here I've lost. Berserker Nidoking just dies to high horsepower in close combat. Like, this is bad. Trick Room not being up is very, very, very bad for me because this is in the sand. I try to think if there is a potential out for me, and maybe he just goes for the kill this turn, and I'm able to pick up the Excadrill with an Earth Power, with a fake out Earth Power, and then Nidoking becomes the fastest thing on the field, and then maybe there's a chance if he decides to take out Berserker this turn, but no, with Protect, like, that's just incredibly safe. Berserker will get just destroyed by a close combat here because there's no other way, but he goes for coaching instead. So now so here's my out now. He misses high horsepower. That's my only out. Because the most obvious play in the world is high horsepower Nidoking, close combat Berserker. And it's a one outer, but I've got to go for him missing the high horsepower. And then I don't even know what to hit and do these other Pokemon, but if he goes for the close combat in Berserker and he high horsepowers and misses, then this is my out. So I'll get my Protect up. He'll use his high horsepower, he'll hit, and I'm done. I can't beat this. So yeah, in Game 2, really quick, really stompy. The flinch to stop Trick Room from going up really changed the overall feel of the game, but it just became a stomp at that point, and there was nothing I could do to stop it. Like, even looking back, there wasn't an out for me to play to at this point. So I just decide I'll click an attack that will never go off because these two things will just kill me, and we will be going into Game 3, so I will be right back. Going into Game 3, I did not want to risk losing to a flinch, so I'm going back with the game mode that seemed to be working best for me. Berserker was really both my Trick Room mode, but more of an anti-Trick Room mode, but he doesn't bring a setter this set. So here, I'm very comfortable with the same lead, lock it in right away, and I'm just going to try to play safely with it. Because I'm comfortable that Liepard is so good against his team, as it's constructed, that if I can play well with Liepard and preserve my damage dealers, or at least one of them, I should win this set. But it's Game 3, anything can happen, so let's go ahead and dive into this battle. So he leads Gigalith, Hitmonchan. This is the freest Tailwind in the world. The only question is, do I protect the Nidoking, or do I go for an Earth Power into the Gigalith? I think either option is potentially correct. But Protect is probably a bit safer because Earth Power did not KO the Gigalith last time. I don't necessarily expect it to this time, because that didn't seem like it was a distance where a roll seemed all that likely to make it up. So I'll just Protect, get up Tailwind, and operate from there. Again, I haven't seen Fake Out from this Hitmonchan, but don't want to lose to nonsense. So he sends in Togetic. Okay, this is going to be interesting for me. Earth Power, obviously, wouldn't have mattered there, but he does, in fact, have the Fake Out. So good thing that I did Protect to preserve a little bit of damage. I'll get Tailwind up. So in this position, to me, it's obvious that he wants to get in Excadrill. I haven't revealed Taunt on Crobat, but there's a way for him to play around Taunt on Crobat. So if he... My first thought is, obviously, I want to Sludge Bomb into the Togetic and Taunt it. But that doesn't seem completely correct, because if the Tagetic protects at this point, then Excadrill comes in for free, and I can't attack it next turn with Nidoking, and Excadrill goes a little hard. My next thought is, okay, what if he follows me, and I'm Earth Powering that slot? Earth Power will do nothing, but Taunt will go off, and then I can freely Earth Power next turn. So the Earth Power and Taunt covered both Protect and a Follow Me switch. So assuming the Excadrill switched in, which I assumed was what he was going for with that lead and those switches, this play covers every possible option, and he does go for the Protect route, which means I just get to click Earth Power. That crit did not matter. Now I'm in a really good position, because I just Earth Powered while Tagetic was on the field and killed the Excadrill switch-in. Now he's going to have issues killing this Nidoking, even with... with everything he's got in the field. The Nidoking's going to be an issue, and then the Marowak, since I've seen Throat Chop at this point, I know he's got the ability to kill the Marowak, but I also know that I Oko back there. So if I'm able to get one attack onto Gigalith, I'm going to be... One attack onto Gigalith with Nidoking, I'm going to be in a very good position. So here my thought is this Tagetic's not going to go for a double protect, so Taunt feels correct, and then I don't want to Earth Power, because calling him going for double protect feels more risky than I need to be in this situation. So let's just get some damage onto the Tagetic with a Sludge Bomb. I also consider switching out both of these Pokemon this turn, or either of these Pokemon this turn, or Protect actually. Yeah, I click Protect, not Sludge Bomb. What am I talking about? Which is even better, because now I don't just die to ground type attack. Follow Me goes off. Sludge Bomb would have done a decent chunk of damage, but Taunt will make sure that this Tagetic is really not in good shape. And then Iron Head goes into the Nidoking, so I don't think this thing has a ground type attack, which means Marowak probably beats it as well, one-on-one. So here, I don't really know exactly what I want to do with this Crobat, because I don't want to U-turn it out, because I kind of want it to stay in here, but I don't need Sunny Day up. It's really tricky. Like, Sunny Day doesn't seem right, and then I remember how much damage the Gigalith took from the Earth Power, and I think U-turn plus Earth Power might be enough to KO this Gigalith. So that will just let me get in Liepard pretty free. And that range, I think if I have the similar roll as I did last time on Earth Power, it will go down. Except I'm remembering now, it didn't make sense to me in the moment, but remembering now, is in the sand, so he's going to have that special defense boost, so it will not. It survives pretty easily, actually. But it doesn't matter, because this Tagetic uses Grass Knot, which is interesting tech. Maybe it's for the fossils, and then a Rock Slide comes out. But now I'm in a really good position, because Gigalith is in Foul Play range. I'm faster than him, and nothing wants to take a Foul Play here. And then I can just Sludge Bomb the Tagetic. Because even if Tagetic switches out into Hitmonchan doesn't want to eat a Sludge Bomb. So, yeah, Sludge Bomb Tagetic feels like a super easy play here. Foul Play feels like a super easy play here. And I think I'm in a rather commanding position at this point, because Foul Play will take down the Gigalith. And Sludge Bomb takes out the Tagetic. So, he's got just Hitmonchan. I've got all 4 Pokemon. I've got the ability to Thunder Wave and Charm it into Oblivion. And if he decides to deal with only taking one of those, then I'm getting free attacks off with Nidoking. So, yeah. This is a wrap at this point, but he Bubba played really well, 4-0'd me game 2, responded with a 4 of my own in game 3. this team feels really strong. I'm very happy with it. And the Lipard just lets me... The Lipard Crobat combo, to say nothing of Indeedee, which didn't even make the 6 this week, just lets me play so many different styles. And the team can operate under Tailwind or Trick Mode Room. So he does get a crit here, which almost gives him a KO. But I'm able to operate under so many different styles that this team just feels right to me, and I feel like I'm going to have a very good season with it. But again, good games to Bubbles. I'm having a lot of fun in the league again this season, and I am looking forward to my match next week, which I believe will be a rematch against Curry Puff. Until next time, thank you guys for watching. Don't forget to like, give me a comment, and subscribe, and I will see you next time. Bye.